$45,000 a year, I can tell you I don't give a puppy about a woman's finances.
Yo, Toast, that's a really good point. I mean, 45,000, I think that's like what, maybe even slightly below. It used to be the average income, but I think it's slightly below the average income. Toast, what do you do for work, by the way? He doesn't give a fuck. I mean, I've made different amounts of money throughout my life. I never cared.
Yeah.
Never cared how much money a woman makes.
Yeah, the more money.
Yeah, the more money a man makes, the more we don't care about how much money you're gonna make. Why would we care? Do we care that you're doing something? Obviously. Do we care that you're occupying your time? Obviously. But we're not gonna care with how much money you make. But let me make this full score. Oh, hold on, I gotta see. Let's see. Each of these individual little things, because so there is a couple of arguments that I definitely want to address on this stream particularly. Let's see. Twitter reaction flowers on the first date. Ooh, I like this. Chivalrous conversation. Yeah, we could just skip around. So I'm gonna put it right here.
You're saying that because I'm 21 and not married, that's, me thinking that flowers are sweet are the reason for that. That's idiotic. That does not make any sense. I'm not saying I demand flowers. I'm saying that a gentleman
I know that a perfectly good joke. I know a perfectly good joke can hurt your feelings for no particularly good reason, even though I'm clearly kidding. But perhaps you can take a breath and actually respond to my argument instead. So here's my actual position. My actual position is that chivalry gives women additional status that men do not receive. Therefore, if women want egalitarianism or equality, they don't deserve additional status. You see?
And
That's
what do
my
you mean by
position.
status? I understand what you're saying. I want to understand it further. So what do you mean by status?
Okay, well, men get on the lifeboats last. Men are expected to protect women. Men are expected to not hit women back. Men are expected to go to frontline warfare and combat and to draft. Women are not. The list is endless, in fact, of the statuses in which women get in society that men do not, due to this idea of chivalry, which is hundreds of years old now, which is carried over when women were given this special status in society because men had the authority. Now that men do not have that authority and women are equal, why do women deserve this chivalric status? Why do they deserve it? I don't see why they do.
So you believe that kind gestures like flowers are comparable to front lines in the war?
Can you just repeat back what I said so I know that you got it?
I heard what you said. What you were saying is that...
Then repeat it back to me so that I know that I know you understand what I'm saying.
Okay, that's
condescending. What's my actual position on this?
How I understood it, which you can correct me if I'm wrong in my understanding, was that you see the fact that, men have a lower position in society compared to women, right? When it comes to the fact that women are not going to be drafted, that men have other, issues that they have to deal with that women are kind of put back for. Women do not, have to be expected to let their man first get on the lifeboat if there's, a ship that's sinking. I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand how a kind action of somebody giving you flowers is comparable to the issues that men have to go through on a day-to-day basis.
So then I guess men are kinder than women if you expect that men then will bring you flowers and you won't bring them flowers.
I don't expect it. I do think that is, fair to say that it is a kind gentleman to bring you flowers. I can agree with you.
And it would be a kind woman who brought
and I have also brought my boyfriend flowers.
Boyfriend.
Should you guys be competing over who's kinder then? And on the first date, shouldn't the woman be bringing the man flowers to show how kind she is?
That's fair. I have done that on a first date. It's a respect thing. It's showing
how many times on the first date have you brought flowers versus you have flowers brought to you?
Okay, well,
so you're just meaner than all the men you date, aren't you? Just say, Andrew, by my own logic, I'm meaner than all of the men I date because I don't bring them flowers and they bring me flowers.
There's different ways to show affection rather than just gifts. You can show affection through acts of service, whether that's, cooking them a meal, whether that's, setting up the date itself, whether that's, them teaching you a new skill, you teaching them a new skill. I've taken people on dates where
the pivot was crazy. The pivot was crazy.
That sounds like an exchange. I thought you were talking about acts of kindness. So if you're talking about acts of kindness and not an exchange, and you say it's a very kind thing for people to show up and give me flowers, well, would it be, and it's a very kind thing if you show up and give them flowers, then why is it that more men are being more kind to you than you are to them? Can you explain that
Why
to me?
is it a competition between who's kinder? Why isn't it just
You're the one who
somebody
made it a
quoting?
competition because you said it's an act of kindness and gentlemanly men should do it. Okay,
I was saying
that's
that
true.
I was saying that it was kind when men do this. You know, when men do give flowers, that is an act of generosity. That is an act of
And
generosity.
more men have brought you flowers than you've brought men flowers. So therefore, by that logic, men are way kinder to you than you are to men. Yeah?
So do I have to?
That's a yes or no
Can you
question.
answer my question? Can you answer my question?
I'm answering
By your
your
logic, if it's kind to bring flowers, and more men bring you flowers than you bring men flowers, then men are kinder to you than you're kind to men. Is that correct or not correct?
It's flawed logic.
Oh, okay. How?
Because it's not whether or not, you know, I brought them flowers or they brought me flowers.
Yes, it is.
It's
You just
them
said that.
doing something that is kind towards me, right? Which, yes, in that scenario, that would be them being kinder on the first date. However, I have not dated that many men, and I have not, you know, exchanged flowers with that many men. That's not like something, it's a Tuesday, I'm going to go on a date so I can get flowers. Like, that is an evil intention to just use men for a purpose like that. Yes, have men given me more flowers than I've given them? Sure. Does that mean that I am cruel because I
I
didn't
don't know
bring
what that
flowers?
has to do with anything. You're just utilizing your metric. I'm not saying you're an unkind person.
I don't
I'm just
understand
saying
why
that
this is
men are
worthy of a
really kinder to
conversation.
you. I'm not saying you're an unkind person. I'm not saying you're mean. I'm not saying you're cruel. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm just saying that if it is the case that flowers equals kindness and kind act, and more men bring you flowers than you bring them,
Then they
more
started
men
with
are
the
acting
kinder
kindly
act.
towards you than you're acting towards them. It's very simple.
That I can agree with. They were kinder to me in the beginning. That is fair. That is a fair assessment. Now, does that mean that, you know, what you're saying is that you started with, you know, I am crueler to men than men are to me. That men
Yes.
are kinder to me than I
By
am to them.
definition.
That's not a fair assumption, you know. But
What
are
the
you saying that they did a kinder gesture to
No,
me on a
what I'm
first date?
saying
Then
is very
yes.
simple, is that if you demand these additional statuses in society, like men have the chivalry.
I don't demand additional.
Gentlemanly men open my car door. Gentlemanly men will bring me
Sir.
flowers. Gentlemanly men will pay for the first
Sir,
date.
with respect-
Hang
Hold on,
let
hold
me
on.
finish,
You gotta let him
please.
finish, then you can respond.
And then I'll let you talk, I promise. Just relax. Okay, gentlemanly men will do all of these things for me, right? That's very nice of them to do all those things for them. What are you doing for them? Well, you're not doing anything because, well, that's what gentlemanly men do. So you're putting yourself at a status, you're giving yourself additional status that men don't have. And what I'm saying is like, why the fuck should they do that? That sounds really stupid. If women are indeed equal to men, why waste their time? Makes no sense.
That's fair, and that is not how I am. You know, if men are doing all these things, right? I know how to fix. I live on a sailboat, right? So I've learned how to fix my boat.
Yeah, bottom line, the argument is just that if you want to be equal, you can't be equal and demand to not be equal at the same time. It's literally a contradiction. That's all it boils down to. I think he even says it, because I was watching this on my phone when I was trying to fall asleep yesterday. Bruh, it's the same shit. It's literally a contradiction. You can't be equal and demand not to be equal at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. If you want to be equal, then demand equal across the board. Or if you want to have privileges, then, hey, it's going to be what it is in the 50s, 60s, 70s, wherever we want to land. But you can't demand to be equal and not to be equal at the same exact time. It's a walking contradiction.
Created this future for my future partner where we can travel around the world and I will be able to fix the engine, which I just did last week. I had to fix my heat exchanger. I can do my own septic, my plumbing. I can do my own woodworking. I have fixed many things on my boat, and I'm continuing to learn those skills so that it is an equal partnership. Now, you're saying men are expected to do all these things. I'm not expecting a man to do all these things, and I just sit back and act like some helpless damsel in distress.
You can do your own woodworking?
Yes, I can. I actually am a woodworker.
Yeah, do you use wood lathe?
No, I do not use wood lathe.
You don't use a wood lathe? Do you use a router?
No, I do not. I have a
You
sailboat.
don't use a router? What do you use to do woodworking?
I use a handsaw or a circular saw. I use...
How are you working the wood
wood
with
is
a circular saw? What are you talking about? That's not woodworking, that's wood cutting.
Okay.
That's not woodworking. Do you know what woodworking is?
Yes, I do. I do woodworking
What
on
is
a
it?
sailboat. It's different. It's... Okay. I don't know what you want from me. You just
Oh, I'm
want to
just very
argue with me.
confused. I thought you were.
He's just challenging your words. We can't take things at face value no more when what people say. That's all he's doing. All he's doing is just challenging your words. If I say I'm a fucking I don't know, fucking fireman, but I don't know what type of hose we use. I don't know what type of truck. I don't know how long the truck is. I don't know what type of equipment we wear. I don't know what helmet we supposed to do. I don't know how to handle a gas fire versus a regular fire. Yeah, I might not be a fireman. he's just verifying what you were saying. That's all. So don't take that shit personally. A lot of times women like to take that shit personally, but we do it to men all the time. Oh, you say you got that bitch? Prove it. Oh, you say you did that? Prove it. Oh, you say you work there? Prove it. We always on some prove it type shit. And now it's becoming weird that once now women are getting the exact same energy we've been giving to each other as men for the past probably forever, how easily emotional they get, easily triggered they get, easily bothered by us questioning what the fuck they do type shit they do.
For a woodworker,
No,
I don't
that's
know what
not my
culture you seem to
profession,
work
but it is
with.
something that I'm learning how to do in order to take care of my sailboat, which I can then provide that lifestyle for my partner.
Okay, cool. What?
So just because I
You're
don't.
learning- What?
Okay.
What?
Okay. I've had to fix multiple things on my boat, right? Like I had to create a table. Okay. So I had to learn how to take the wood and sand it to the right shape, right? I had to learn how to cut things. I had to use different saws. I had to use.
Okay, all right, cool. I want to see some other arguments on
to
here.
protect it. I've had to use different, I've had to
You
learn
mean-
expecting every man to care for me like a child.
It
And I
sounds
don't.
like you agree with me then, that there's no good reason for men to give women
But
additional
flowers
status.
is a gesture of kindness. That's a gesture of respect. It's not an issue of.
You can't show people respect unless you open their door and give them flowers.
I never said that I expect every
Isn't
man
it
to
a
open
better,
my
bigger
door.
sign of respect to treat you exactly as an equal? Wouldn't that be the biggest sign of respect?
I do agree with that, and so like I said,
And
I've
let's get
given
rid
men
of this
flowers.
evil status of toxic femininity,
That's
where
fair.
they demand additional status in society that they don't deserve when we should be treating them like the equals they demand we treat
Okay,
them.
so what is your definition of toxic femininity? What do you mean by that? What is
A
what is
demand for
going on?
additional status is based on old chivalric codes that are undeserved when you at the same time demand equality. So I would say toxic femininity is the demand of Schrodinger's feminists who claim, here's the Schrodinger's feminist, you are both the biggest victim on planet Earth while at the same time the most badass badass woman on planet Earth. And depending on what circumstance you're in, you'll use either one of those. Either you're
That's
super
fair.
oppressed or you're badass. That's Schrodinger's feminist.
That's fair.
What
That's
toxic femininity is just saying, look, if you're demanding additional statuses in society while you're demanding equality in society, then you're not demanding equality in society. You're
Okay.
demanding status.
I agree with that, and back to your original point of the flowers, I said that it was a kind gesture. I've also given men flowers, so I do think that there are certain things that are conflicting when it comes to feminism and wanting to be treated higher than rather than equal, because feminism originally was for equality. I do agree with you there, and that's not a point that I'm arguing with you on. Obviously, like I believe femininity and feminism, in the olden day sense, is better than what it's turned into. I believe that, if
It wasn't. It was even worse. It was even worse.
Okay.
Women, imagine this. Like, can you imagine that women, and this is the truth, women had serious societal status, and now they're told to compete with men. It's fucking stupid. It's like it's the dumbest thing ever. They had real societal status, and they took all that status away from themselves so that they could be equal to men who they can't be equal with. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What is status if not freedom? Why would you trade status for freedom? I believe that you should want to be able to be your own person. Now, the
What's up with that
time
noise?
To do what? What do you
Freedom
want
to be an
do?
individual. In the olden days, you had to be tied to a man. You had to be tied to a husband. Now, is that me saying, oh, I hate men? No. I plan
You still
on
have to
having
be
a
tied to
husband
men.
sometime.
You still have to be taught to men.
Okay. In the
There's no
olden
escaping being tied to men. There's no escaping that. Like everything, the whole building you're in, the streets you walk on, the cars you drive, everything that you do is tied to men. There's no escape.
Right,
from that
and
for women.
there should be, you know, a relationship that is equal between man and woman. I'm not
Why?
saying that you should cut out men. I'm not saying that women
Why?
should be lower or higher. I'm saying that there should be an equal level between
Why?
men and
Why?
women. Men and women have different places in society that they
Yes,
are
I agree.
dominant
But why
in.
should they be equal? Why?
Why should they be equal? Because we are both human beings. Because
No.
we
Why does
both
that-
have
why does that
human
infer
rights.
equality?
That is like
Like-
saying that you should treat one race different than the other.
No,
you
it's
shouldn't
not.
treat a man
Why does that
versus a
infer
woman
that you
different.
should treat one?
Because
Wait,
you're
stop,
treating.
Hang on, back up.
Okay.
You wouldn't be treating one race differently than another, right? You'd be treating one
One
sex
sex.
differently than
Right,
another.
so-
The
so
reason
what's-
that, because you do agree with me that there's different races who are the same sex, who are women and men.
So
So if
what's
men still have authority in society, right? I'm sorry to cut you off in the middle of your long diatribe. Just want to clarify. If men have status or have authority in society and women have status in society, that's fine. But if you want to trade that for equality, you can't bitch when you get it. That's my point.
what is the difference between, you know, treating somebody differently based on their race versus based on their gender? There should not be a difference. We are all human beings, so you should treat us equal based on that. That in of itself is the basis of humanity.
It's just an assertion. We don't treat each other equally at all. Men don't treat each other equally, even slightly.
Yeah, even as men, we don't treat each other equally. Even as men, we say, oh, that little nigga looks small as fuck, I'm going to probably treat him a certain way. Even if it's consciously, you might be the most kindest person in the world, you might be the best individual, etc. Subconsciously, you understand that a bigger animal is more dangerous, bro. What? If you see a person with a gun, you're going to treat them differently than a person without a gun. If you see a person that's way bigger, you're going to treat them differently than a person that's way smaller. If you see a person that's this, you're going to treat them as such. You're going to treat a person that has more class differently than a person that has much lower class. Yeah, the increments of you treating them differently may be very small. Even though you might be the best human being on earth, you might treat the janitor with the utmost respect. But guess what? You're going to still treat that motherfucking CEO with the utmost respect as well. And even if for some reason you might have a metric of, let's say, I don't know, personality or whatever your metric of deeming to treat someone, you're still going to have a hierarchy in that metric. So if it's good, you treat people based off of how they treat you, that's still a metric in hierarchy. Point blank, period. So I hear her argument, or I hear it. I really do. I tell you this and I'll say it again. I try to be as objective as possible, but at the same exact time, we are not equal. Why would I treat you as an equal when we are not equal? I'm not even equal to other men. It's the other men that are bigger than me. Pause. It's other men that are smaller than me. It's other men that are smarter than me. It's other men that are dumber than me. It's other men that are richer than me. Other men that are poorer than me. There's a hierarchy to most things that we do in life. And I think men innately understand that, but women don't. They want everything to be fucking equal, and we're all equal, and we're all blah, blah on the same level, when no, everything has a hierarchy. That's one of the main differences between men and women. So, yeah, I'm glad he's fighting this fight, because this is a good fight to fight. I don't know if he nails that, puts the hierarchy, mindset in there, or the male perspective of hierarchy in there, because I didn't watch the whole video. But let's see. Let's find out. I still got, a couple more minutes. Let's still let it play.
Each
Fair,
other
that's
every
fair.
single day, 7 days a week, every single day of the year, men are in competition.
And
with
I
each
have
other.
a-
Hang on. Can I respond to what you just said?
Yes, sir.
If not, then make sure that you give me the high sign, say I'm not done yet, and I'll be quiet. So if you want to continue, go ahead and finish, and then I'll respond. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that maybe my viewpoint isn't how society is actually based, but it's a utopian viewpoint. I believe that people should be treated equal, not based on their gender, not based on their race, not based on anything else besides that they are a human being. So you may speak now. That was all I wanted to say.
And that's fine to treat people equally if that's what your value is, okay? But then you can't ask for additional statuses, because that wouldn't be equal. That's the point. That's the purpose. And the thing is that women do ask for additional statuses. So here would be true equality. You don't lower the training standards for police officers because they're women. You don't lower the training standards for soldiers because they're women. You don't lower the standards for flight school. You don't lower the standards for any of these various things that men are clearly much better at than women because they're women. That would be true equality. When you come back to me and give me that then I'll believe that women don't want additional statuses in society. But right now, it sure seems like they do.
I believe that's fair, and my viewpoint might not be the same as every other woman in society, but I do think that we should be treated equally.
Do you know what that would act?
That's a dumb. I ain't gonna lie to you. And again, I'm not calling you dumb because I don't try to be disrespectful, but that's just dumb logic. It really is, because we are not equal. So in order for us to even try to treat you as equal, it'll be a detriment to society. Oh yeah, women, instead of raising kids and birthing the next nation, we're gonna put you on the front lines. Oh yeah, men, instead of being on the front lines, we're gonna make you foster parents for for as many kids as we can, because all the women are going to the front lines. Half the women are going to the front lines to fight for the country. Yeah, let me see how that works out. It just doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, instead of the men doing the hard manual labor, labor intensive work, science, technology, engineering, math. Oh yeah, we're gonna replace y'all with 50% of women. We don't care. This is about to be, what they call it? I think they call it DEA or some shit like that. We're gonna put 50% of women in there, and yeah, we're gonna be equal across the board on everything. So women, it just honestly is not even going to work, because if you have the freedom, you can't. I'm gonna be honest, and I don't think I've never heard this before. So I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say it. You can't have freedom and equality at the same time. You can't. You can't. You literally can't. Because if you're going to have a society in which everyone can choose what they want to do, you can't necessarily have equality, because most of the women are going to gravitate towards womanly shit, and most men are going to gravitate towards manly shit, or male shit. That's just what's going to naturally happen. So it would be hard for a society to be equal unless you force them to be equal. I'm going to force 50% of women to be in STEM. I'm going to force 50% of women to be in police officers, military, firemen, etc., road workers, people that's in the sewers, etc. I'm going to force 50% to do that, and I'm going to force 50% of the males to do all the fucking womanly shit. Yeah. Then, yeah, I can see it probably being a lot more equal. Yeah. But since we live in a world that's like free, and you can you can have the freedom to choose whatever it is you want to do, it's going to be almost impossible to have equality. Point blank period.
Actually entail?
I do understand what that actually would entail. Yes, sir.
You would?
Yes, sir. I
So,
do
like,
understand.
the
You don't think, so you
I would
think
be-
that if a woman, do you think that if a woman smacks a guy, that he should turn around and belt her across the mouth?
Okay, so smacking and belting is not the same, but I do
Yeah, I know,
think
but
there
if a
is a
man
difference
smacks
in
me,
strength.
it's okay for me to belt him, right?
There is a difference in strength
No, answer the
between
question.
the average man and the average woman.
Answer
That is
the
not
question.
something that is disagreeable based on scientific evidence. I'm not
No.
going to argue with that. Now, I do think that,
So
if
what?
you are in this utopian society where you are treating everyone equally, then that would be a situation that would occur. Now, is that equality? No, because the man might be stronger than the woman.
No, that's still equality. Listen, if weaker men attack stronger men, which happens all the time, nobody bats an eye if the stronger man beats up the weaker man. So how is it that you can logically say, because women are weaker, they then deserve the privilege of being able to hit men without men hitting them back?
I
If the
didn't
woman's
say
hitting
that.
him, hang on. If the woman's hitting him at full strength, for instance, and he hits her back at full strength, that would be equality.
Equality, thank you.
I mean, I don't condone violence like that.
Bruh, that's not the question. God damn, this shit be irking me. And I see why now I be crashing out, bro. And I try my best to be as calm as possible when I do these shows myself, here in Atlanta or even in Thailand, etc. But this shit be irking me because they don't just follow simple 1+1 logic type shit, bro. 1+1 logic type shit. And Andrew killed it with that. And I honestly have never heard someone say that shit besides me. I've always said it's not the physical capabilities, but the intent behind what they're doing. That's what you should be matching, not the physical capabilities of someone. If a fucking small ass midget comes to me and he fucking hits me as hard as he can because his intent is to hit me as hard as he can and to hurt me, knock me out, etc. What the fuck do I look like showing my intent of half hitting him? Oh, I don't want to hurt him. Let me just... No, my intent now is to destroy you. Your intent was to destroy me and harm me. My intent now is to harm you and destroy you. It's just that simple. It's about intent, not about your physical capabilities. That's what these women are not understanding.
Domestic or
That, I
whatever
mean, that's
reason
nice.
is.
It has nothing to do with
But
the
I
actual
understand
point,
what you're
though.
saying, and I actually, you know, I do think that that would be, you know, considered equality in that sense. Now, do I think that it's okay to hit a woman? Do I think that you should go around smacking women? No.
Who said
But,
that?
You know, if you're saying, okay, a woman is...
Who the fuck said that? Why do women add shit that we never said? He never said you should go around smacking people. That was never in the hypothetical. That was never with anything that he intended or even said came out his mouth. There was nothing to even be misconstrued about getting close to what you just said. So I hate when they like pivot to like another point that has nothing to do with the point that you were making. Because that doesn't make sense. No one said that. No one said you would go around smacking people. What the fuck?
Is being aggressive towards a man and then a man is aggressive back, that would be considered equal. Is it equal? No. There is a difference in strength there, you know, and
There's a
that's
difference in
not...
strength between every human being on planet Earth.
That's true.
So no matter what, there's always going to be somebody in the fight who's stronger than the other person. We don't say that you can't defend yourself because the other person is weaker. So the thing is like, if you really want equality and you want to know what that entails that women have to get screamed at by their bosses, just like men do. And they can't complain about it and whine and cry about it. It means that they're going to have to deal with coarse jokes and things like this, just like men do. And they can't cry about it. They can't whine about it. It means that they actually get treated like equals. It means that when women put their hands all over men and nobody bats an eyelash, like at a party or something like this, and nobody says that that's sexual battery, that men need to begin to say that it is, because that's what women say. So the thing is like, true equality, I don't even think that women want it. I don't believe you. I literally don't believe that women actually want it. I don't
That's
even think they know what the entailment of it is.
You don't have to believe me. I do think it's wrong for a woman to sexually harass a man, just as it's wrong for a man to sexually harass a woman, just as it's wrong for a man to hit a woman and a woman to hit a man. I don't believe that violence of any source is okay. I don't think that, you know, assaulting anyone is okay. I don't care what your gender is or what you believe, that it's not
So
alright.
are you going to
It's
start advocating that
disrespect.
women get drafted?
You know, it's funny because I was planning on signing up for the military after college.
That's not what I asked.
And you got to answer the question though.
Yes.
Okay.
If that's equality,
You're going to
yes.
start, so I can expect you in protest soon, demanding that women be drafted.
I'm not the type of person to protest, but
Are you going to demand that men also have a say over abortion? And that they're
This
also
isn't-
allowed to
okay,
have a
I-
say
so
in what
I'm-
happens with what they do?
I am Christian, so I don't really believe that abortion is a right that somebody should have. So yes, I do think that if it's a male and a female's, you know, it's sperm and egg, right? That does give the man some sort
You're a
of...
Christian but believe in equality? That's a patristic faith. It's patriarchal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Well, there's no okay.
that doesn't make
I'm
sense.
sorry, is God the father or the mother?
Uh-oh.
Is God the
is...
father?
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Yes, God is Father.
Here we
right?
go.
Did Jesus Christ incarnate as a woman or a man?
As a man.
He incarnated as a man, and are priests referred to as father, and are women allowed to be priests?
So that's a different, you know, strain. I do believe that women can be in a place of, you know, they can hold a place in a religion. So that's
So
also
clergy
the
can
difference.
represent the Christ head, even though the Christ head incarnated as a man. That makes sense to you?
I think that God speaks through both men and women.
Here, hold on. But can just to move things along a little bit, can women be clergy? And what's your
I don't
denomination?
follow that. Yeah,
What's your
I'm
what's your-
non-denominational. I
okay.
just follow the Bible. So I don't think that pertains to me. I'm not qualified enough to answer that question.
Okay.
That's not my denomination.
Okay, well, I just ask you one quick one then.
Go ahead.
So we have God the Father, we have Jesus Christ who was incarnate. Was there
Yes,
can you point to me to a female apostle? What was her name?
I mean, there were people that followed Jesus that were women. There's many signs of that in the Bible.
Just answer the
What
What
question.
was the apostle's name?
There was Mary.
Mary.
What?
Is she on Esther?
Yep, Esther. Yeah.
Esther.
Okay. Yeah. Have you seen The Chosen? There's plenty of women. You know, that's biblically accurate as well as they, you know, could do. So there are plenty of women referenced in the Bible that did follow Jesus, that did, you know, drop everything and follow him. And he that's one of the things about Jesus, is that he was fair to both men
All right.
and women. You know, he allowed both to follow him, and that was something that really, really pissed off, you know, the Jewish rabbis, was the fact that he did treat women well.
Yeah, I don't really care about the church.
Gotcha. And so what would that look like?
So my previous relationship, so I would do the cooking. Well, I was also a chef, so I was cooking, doing a lot of the cleaning. You know, I remember like one of the last arguments we had was I didn't butter his toast.
How
What?
dare you?
And
How
I
dare
said,
you
"I'm
not
sorry,
butter his
I
fucking
was
toast."
busy. I'm sorry. Like I
Butters.
usually leave the house before him because I work a lot and I have to like
He
leave at
scolded you?
6.
Did he scold you?
Yeah, I mean he made like a joke, but it's kind of like.
You also say here, women don't need men. Do you want to elaborate a bit on that?
Oh, they about to eat your ass
I
up.
don't think that women, like, a lot of people think that women need men in, like, society to maintain society, and I don't think so. I think women would be perfectly fine. I think women would do better off
Well, how
without
about-
men
how about
men
this
would do
scenario?
without women.
Well, so let me
This is just
let me ask
stupid.
you a
This is
couple
just
clarifying.
stupid.
Hold on, let me ask a couple clarifying questions here.
This is just stupid.
What about this scenario?
Just dumb at this point.
If men just instantly disappeared, or women instantly disappeared, because your position is men would fare worse
Yeah.
than the women. So in that scenario where it's not like, oh, okay, men are going to disappear in like a year, but it's like men disappear tonight and there's no ability for the women to prepare, you think the women fare better?
Definitely.
Why?
Because I think, first of all, I think men's society would it would go stagnant. I think the reason why men have done as much as they've done so far is for women and because of women. And so women, on the other hand, are quite motivated outside of men. Older women who are, you know, divorced and don't plan on getting in relationships anymore still maintain their lifestyle. They still keep their places clean. They still, you know, like, they still maintain...
Here, a couple more questions. Who here agrees with her on this? Just curious. Anybody agree? So instantaneously, all men disappear, or instantaneously, all women disappear. Her position is men would fare worse in that scenario than women. Who agrees with her?
There was like a study on that.
You can't
with
study that.
kids. I know, like, I still think that men and women, like, should
Do you
both.
remember what the study was called by chance?
I don't.
I saw it.
But it was like elementary schoolers, or maybe it was middle schoolers. But they were in like a house for a couple days, just girls, and then versus guys, and the girls actually did a lot better than just the boys. And that is
what was the age of the children?
I'm pretty sure they were in middle school.
Okay, I don't see how that pertains
I know.
to this. Does anybody else agree with her? Going once, going.
She agrees.
Who? You agree?
Yeah.
And you agree. Okay. And then you mentioned that women, they keep their houses in good shape, right?
Yeah.
But what happens in this scenario when within 72 hours there's no electricity, there's no food, the water stops working, there's fires that break out, and you don't have male firefighters to put these fires out. So let's assume like a woman loses her residence. What then?
Women know how to collect food. I mean, back when we were hunter-gatherers, the gatherers, being women, would
You think the
provide most of
average urban woman knows how to collect food in the forest?
Yeah, that's what women used to do.
They used to do, but that was like taught. It's not like you can't just drop somebody who's lived in civilization their entire life into the forest. Like, do you think an
That would
average?
go for both men and women. I don't think the average man would do
Well,
that.
no, because even then there's a strength discrepancy. So you take like a man who's grown up in an urban environment and a woman who's grown up in an urban environment. They both have like very little knowledge, just on the basis that men have more strength, generally speaking. The man's already in an advantage.
In what way? Like, what
You
is that
just
strength
said-
gonna do for him?
You don't think early human beings relied on like strength and labor to move? Like, okay, I want to chop down a tree. I need to chop up this firewood. I need to move these materials to this position.
I think women could work as a team, like community.
Well, in this scenario, I'm thinking like one-on-one, but even then, 2 women don't possess the same strength as 2 men. Or 3 women don't possess the same strength as 3 men.
Right, but I don't think you need to have like some incredible degree of strength. I think that as long as you have a community, you have a tribe, you'd be fine. It doesn't really matter what level of strength there is. I think women have enough strength to survive on their own.
What was the
Well,
question?
would you be interested in a real social experiment then? Let's say you get 12 of your girlfriends who have even survival skills. Let's say they have survival
I
skills.
don't even think I have 12.
We'll collect 12 men who have survival skills. Or we can collect 12 who don't to 12 women. And then give them just a knife apiece and send them off into the wilderness.
I mean, they already do this. Do you watch Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they all
How
have...
did the women do?
They actually did do this. So in the,
How did the women do?
Women survive just fine by
No,
themselves.
no, they went over to the men during the exact same social experiment I'm talking about, which didn't include 12-year-olds, okay, when they were fully grown adults, and here's what happened.
They
The
did this in a
women were
Mr. Beast
crying,
video.
they were freezing, and they went over and begged the men to help them, and the men finally did. And I see no reason why that would not be the case. By the way, these were all ages of men, all ages of women, and they failed miserably. Like,
I mean,
miserably.
I've seen episodes where the women have hunted and caught like large kills, and I mean, and the women, they do
Well,
get
sure.
multiple seasons.
I'm not disputing that women can't do in groups and teams. I mean, the women are not stupid. I'm sure that they can hunt but it's the degree to which you're effective at the thing that matters. So when Brian says strength, I don't even think that you realize what he's saying. When you're talking about all the labor jobs which keep society going, that requires a great degree of physical strength. And physical strength is multiplied by multiple men. No, you don't think so. You think it's just done by machines. The nice thing about
most of it
machines
is,
that
yeah.
machines take a great amount of physical strength to use. You have a gal here who said she was in maintenance, yeah? She'll tell you, if you want to pick up a 400-pound machine motor, it's really heavy, just so you know. It's not an easy feat. So I don't know where you get the idea that raw strength is not still the staple of human labor, because it still is. We have labor-saving devices, but strength is still very much key in labor.
Sure, but
also, just you do acknowledge that there's discrepancies in terms of representation when it comes to critical infrastructure jobs, right?
Sure, yeah.
So, like, for example, like water, I've got a list here: water, sewage, electricity, gas, fuel refinement, garbage collection, telecommunications, IT infrastructure, road maintenance, truck and delivery drivers, police, fire rescue. These are predominated by men. Do you agree with this?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just factually true. So if all men disappear instantly, there's not enough women in these fields to... Essentially, there's not enough women in the fields where if they just disappeared immediately, it would just be complete. It would be a complete catastrophe. And I mean, you'd have electricity gone within 72 hours, telecommunications gone within 72 hours. Women are not in those fields when, like, there's a snowstorm or a hurricane and the power's out and it's below freezing in Bozeman, Montana, and they got...
Yeah, this girl's stupid, bro. I try my best not to call people stupid, but this bitch is stupid. Like, just dumb. It's just sheer logic at this point. It's not even a man versus woman thing, bro. It could be literally black and white. It could be literally black and white, right? Literally black and white. You can put black and white. Black and white aliens. They what do you call that shit? Asexual. They don't even have a sex. We got black and white aliens. The black aliens, they know what to do when it comes to science, technology, engineering, math. They take up 80% of the market when it comes to that. You have the other ones, which take up 20%. The white, we're going to call them grays. The white grays, all right? just in a logical based presentation, if the 20% of the STEM would leave, you would just need 20% to fulfill that void of them leaving, which is going to be much easier than to fulfill the 80% that just left. So immediately, when it comes to the power grid, when it comes to water sewers, when it comes to firefighters, military, etc., everything, all of that, etc., it's literally just going to be easier for you to replace the 20% than it is for you to replace the 80%. Let alone, let's say the blacks, right? The black grays are more inclined to do that particular job or skill because they are stronger, bigger, faster, typically more, analytical, care about things, etc., right? So just that alone, let alone the men versus women shit, just purely numbers wise, the one that's 20% obviously gonna do worse. This doesn't even make sense, bro. Like, this is like, it hurts my mind and my head to even go down this fucking illogical way of thinking just to try to convince the person to see it for the other side. And I know it might get fun, it might be fun when I'm doing my own show because I'm in the moment, I'm around people, maybe I had a shot or two, and I'm not as, agitated. But bruh, this bitch is just dumb. It's just a numbers thing at this point. Now, if she has a different argument, if she had a different argument and was to say, hey, when it comes to the men, if all women disappeared, yes, y'all would still have the functioning societal things of, like, structure-wise, etc. But then y'all gonna get demoralized. Y'all gonna probably fight each other. Y'all not gonna care. Y'all gonna unalive each other, and society probably gonna fizzle out because y'all have nothing to do, etc. Okay, that's a way better argument. Versus the woman, I'm going to fight against just the beginning of the argument, which is the men are just going to do better in society in the first week of the given hypothetical. It's so stupid. Just accept that part of the hypothetical and then move on to a better position inside your own argument and saying, yeah, at the beginning, I think the men are going to do way better. I think the men are going to fucking be phenomenal at the beginning. I think they're going to be motivated. They're going to be phenomenal. But then I think they're going to get crazy because they're not going to have women. They're not going to have anything to smash, etc., etc., etc. Then I would get into the argument, well, most men don't have anything to smash now anyway. So we probably gonna create robots and they can continue on watching OF girls and gooning, what they call it nowadays, gooning, because that would be my argument against that argument, by the way. But even if that was the case, I would still just kill that beginning part of the argument because it just doesn't even logically follow on why would you stand on the beginning part of this hypothetical that women are going to do better in societally speaking, and the water is not going to cut off because she was shaking her head that the water is going to cut up, not going to cut off. It just doesn't make sense, bro. It just literally doesn't make sense. You would have to find 80% of that workforce within seconds since that person since those people disappeared. You're going to have to find that replacement in seconds. Oh, damn. I don't know. I don't even know what's the amount of people. 10 million people we got to replace ASAP to learn about science, technology, math, to do the engineering, to do the power plants, to do the cable line wires, etc., etc., etc. No, hurry up and get them. We need them, blah, 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 blah. Versus, and then you will have to teach them. Then you will have to teach them from scratch to do it. By the time you even, let's say they even capable of being taught that at an extreme rate, you can't teach that shit in a week from someone that's never been in that field. You can't teach that shit. I would say you probably can't even teach that shit in a month with someone that's never been in that field, that don't know nothing about electricity, that don't know nothing about sewers, that don't know nothing about building, that don't know nothing about nothing science, technology, engineering, math related. That just doesn't make sense. Versus the reverse, it would be easy for the 80% to be like, oh yeah, we just need 20% more. We just need two more million. I'll teach you what to do. I'll tell you what to do, etc. Yeah. All you gotta do is this, and this, and then this, and this, and you good. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's gonna suck 100%. It might even go down for like a day, 2 days. But guess what? That motherfucker coming right back up. But in the altar, I don't think it's ever coming back up. It's just a numbers thing at this point. It's not even a man versus woman thing. It's just a sheer numbers thing, given this exact hypothetical. So this is why I can't take anything that she says serious, bruh. Because she's basically putting her heels down into something that's just so illogical that it makes her look outrageous. Versus her saying, hey, yeah, men are going to fucking be phenomenal. They're going to crush us at the beginning. But then eventually when time passes, we're going to be the ones that's going to stand better at the test of time, etc. Even though that's still going to be a trash argument. But that's still a much better argument than saying, yeah, women are going to be able to take 80% of the fucking brunt of science, technology, and math. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Got to fix the power lines, or they got to fix something. They got to check the grid at 1 a.m. and it's snowing and hailing outside. Is it a woman who goes, or it's a man? It's always a man.
Okay, so what happened during World War II when men had to go to war and women?
Oh, that happened during World War II. Is just women went to just fucking a little bit of factory working, a little bit of secretary working, but that's not comparable to building shit. That's not comparable to construction. That's not comparable to you having the knowledge of anything when it comes to engineering. That's not comparable.
Women had to take over the jobs.
Women have, first of all, not all women, not all men went to World War II.
Right.
Women stepped up to some degree, but they also had plenty of time to prepare for it. In the scenario I provided, men disappeared instantly. Mm-hmm. So in that scenario, women would not be able to we're just going to take over the water, the sewage, the telecoms. There wouldn't be enough women who have the knowledge base or even necessarily the physical capacity to even do some of these jobs, even if they did have the knowledge base.
I think they would. I mean, we still have the internet.
Bruh, this bitch is so dumb, bruh. Bitches are dumb. Oh, my God. I think I even had a debate with this dumbass bitch before on TikTok. Her and some other girl. And it's just so stupid. She's not even actually listening and actively listening to his hypothetical. It's instant. I would even say on the male side, it would, like I said it earlier, it would still hurt. It would hurt like a motherfucker. It might even be 2 days before that shit gets back up, etc. Well, it probably still stay up. I ain't gonna lie to you. If we take up 80%, it probably still gonna stay up. Yeah, it probably still stay up. But it's gonna be a hit. It's definitely gonna be a hit. It's definitely gonna hurt. It's definitely gonna be a huge hit if our only goal was to say, hey, we don't care if women are here or not. We don't care about the propelling humans forward, etc. Our only goal in every single male's head once them women disappear is to keep society running. Yeah. It's going to run. It's 100% going to run. Now, given the circumstances, obviously men gonna go crazy. There's no bitches out here. Yeah. I get that part. That's your best argument. But this argument of saying that you can just replace an instant population of needing 10 million people to keep the grids up and shit, yeah, that's just stupid.
But women are dominating education.
The internet would be down within 72 hours.
Why?
Do you realize how often there needs to be maintenance?
Because you seeing the internet runs on electricity, and if there's no more electrical workers,
there's no female electricians.
The vast overwhelming amount of them are men. I'm talking vast. I think it's like 98%. In fact, I think 100% of linemen. Last I checked, linemen. Those are the people who put up your power poles. I think they're all men.
Right.
Maybe it was like decimal point. That wasn't men.
Right. Maybe you're right. Maybe it would go out. There wouldn't be enough women to sustain. But I think over time, women would evolve, and we would get it,
Well, you have one generation, because without men, you're basically going to go extinct, and unless, of course, you decide that you're going to use frozen male sperm, and then only keep the women, but you're going to run out eventually, so then I guess you would have to have men, so that men could then re-inseminate you at some point. And then, the second you have men to do that, you have the problem if they're really fucking strong, and may decide that you get to go in the cages. So I don't really know. I don't really know how this is even feasible from the female standpoint. If all men disappeared tomorrow, It seems to me like this would be dire and catastrophic for women. Not exactly sure how it would be for men.
We don't need it anyway. The stuff you're talking about.
Right. I mean, we've survived as societies
Bro.
without electricity.
Y'all are dumb, bruh. We don't need electricity. We don't need electricity. Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh. Oh, yeah. Let me just... I'm getting stressed out. I'm getting stressed out, bro. I'm getting stressed out. I can't. I see why I got them gray hairs in 25. I see. All right, let's finish up this video and then call it because I'm over it. She literally said, we don't need that. How are you going to have that same exact population if you can't feed that population? There will be starvation if you can't feed that population. There will be mass amount of killing if you can't feed that population, because now people are fighting over resources. Now people are killing each other over resources. I really wish there was a way that we could have like a matrix way of like plugging shit inside your brain, of giving certain hypotheticals and actually living them out, and maybe even knowing that, hey, I am in a hypothetical. That would be the key, because you would be knowing, hey, I am in a hypothetical. This is not necessarily real. It's just a play out of a hypothetical. All right, let's see what happens. Boom, you get into the hypothetical. You are yourself, you're your own conscious being. You remember who you are. Excuse me, you still keep all the memories that you have, all the skills that you have, etc., etc. Let's see how shit play out. Guess what? Y'all are going to kill each other over resources very, very, very quickly. This is so dumb, bro. I gotta be honest, part of it, I would say, no, fuck part of it. Most of it is men's fault. We should be teaching the perspective of men in schools. We should be teaching the perspective of electricians, the perspective of sewer people, the perspective of linemen, the perspective of transportation people, the perspective of farmers, etc., etc., etc. We should be teaching that in schools, so women don't come on these fucking podcasts and ask dumb and say dumb and stand on dumb positions.
You do realize
Your body was conditioned for this. So you're talking about conditions. So if you live in a world, like if you go to the third world, for instance, have you ever seen what's called the third world squat? That now, if you just took that normal squat sitting position that almost everybody sits in the third world all day long, your calves would be killing you within about 20 minutes, and you'd have to get back up, because most people don't sit like this, right? We sit on chairs, which is actually bad for our back. They're actually conditioned for this movement because they were raised in an environment for the movement. The soles of their feet are conditioned to not have shoes. They were raised in an environment for that. Everything about them is conditioned for the environment that they're in. That is not the case anymore. You're not conditioned to go out in the forest and find fucking berries, okay? Modern women are not conditioned to do that.
Neither are modern men. Modern men mostly would not have these survival skills either.
Modern men keep up forestry. Modern men keep up physical conditioning for outdoor jobs and outdoor work and outdoor foraging and hunting and things like that. Women do not.
And there are women who do these jobs too.
Very few.
So I live in Bozeman, Montana, and I can tell you that if men disappeared, some people will say, we don't need these amenities to survive. There's a large surplus of the population that lives in a climate where if these things disappear, millions and millions of people would just die. So, like Brian said, if they had time to prepare, if females have time to prepare, they can obviously make that happen. But I think to say that if men just disappeared,
they still wouldn't make it
women
happen.
would be fine.
They still wouldn't make that happen.
Like, we already have education. We already have food in grocery stores. We would have time to figure it out.
But hold on. Wait. Hold on. One thing. So, right. But like, if all men disappeared, how quickly are you going to the grocery store and looting everything? Right? How quick until all that food's gone? And then, you're going to have bands of women who are just maybe collectively get together. They're going to take everything. And you don't have police. So if there's women who are inclined to violence, there's nobody who's going to be able to enforce any of the laws. And then secondly, hold on. Once that food is gone, Where's the farmers who are going to cultivate it? 90% of drivers, truck drivers are men. So I don't know if that's the exact number. The majority of truck drivers are men. Transport. How do they get to the grocery store? How do they get to Trader Joe's?
I mean, again, so we wouldn't have as much of a population to sustain because half of the population would be gone, right? And then also, I think women are just, I think women are quite civilized. I don't think we are just going to go in and start looting things and like.
Whoa.
I think we can share,
hold on.
I think we can.
Wait, hold on. Do you realize how, okay, society is like, what did they say? Like 6 meals away from pure chaos?
Yep.
Like, once people are hungry, once they're thirsty, you think women aren't going to start killing each other? Really?
I mean, we would still maintain society initially, like money and, I mean, women work in grocery stores and stuff. Like, we're not just going to immediately go stealing things and stuff like that. I don't think
that's exactly what would happen.
People are going to loot immediately.
Just because there's no men?
You got Jeffrey Dahmer.
No,
here.
it's like a Thanos thing. They disappear. You can't eat the
For
body.
the sake of your own survival, you wouldn't just go immediately like looting the grocery store?
No, because there would be other women with weapons.
Listen, I'm going to give you credit where credit is due. We can just take a look at the top 10 female jobs, and we know you're right. Human resource managers, they're going to be really good. Dental hygienists, can't wait for them. Nurse practitioners, physical therapists, physician assistants, veterinarians, child care workers, healthcare administrators, marketing managers, medical scientists. This means you're part of a research crew. Guess what's not there? You'll never guess. Construction worker, lineman, any type of mechanical engineer, any type of labor whatsoever. Women tend to gravitate towards childcare and nursing and administrative jobs and clerical work. They don't gravitate towards any of the jobs that you're talking about. So how useful do you think human resource managers are going to be in the female apocalypse exactly?
I will teach you how to sail, and we can just sail away.
How many people fit on your boat? How many people fit on your boat?
Comfortably, like with a bed, or like they're on the floor.
But who's gonna farm the food that you bring with you?
So
Hold
I have
on.
a spear gun.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Pull it up, Damon.
I have a spear gun,
Bigger.
so you can
Bigger.
cut that off.
All right, so this is the top 20 most dangerous use occupations and the percentage of male. So logging workers, 94% male, fishing workers, 99% male, aircraft pilots, roofers, truck drivers is 94% male, iron and steel workers, 98% male, farmers and ranchers, so for the food, 75%, agriculture workers, 79%, mining, landscaping, construction workers, 97%. Move us to the other side. Cement and concrete manufacturing, that's not super important, but the electrical, for the apocalypse scenario, smaller. I need to just hide this totally.
But
just
Brian,
hide this totally. Hold on.
Brian,
Hold on.
bro.
Electrical power line workers, 99%. Police officers, 85%. Maintenance repair workers, 97%. And those are the pertaining to the apocalypse scenario. Go ahead, Andrew.
But could they do that, Brian, without their human resource managers? Really? Could they?
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like women don't really occupy those jobs because of the patriarchy and because of gender stereotypes that we have.
Oh
in
my god!
society.
All
Like,
right. I'm done. I swear to God, I'm done. I gotta be able to do this myself, but yeah, it is just irking me, bruh. You gotta have so much patience to deal with just stupidity at certain points. It's literally just a numbers thing. It's not even about a man versus woman's thing. It's just simply a numbers thing. But alright, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. That drained me. I ain't gonna lie to you. That drained the fuck out of me, fellas. God, dog. I see y'all out here liking the video and shit. I fuck with y'all, man. There's way more people today. I think I hit damn near 10 people, bruh. 10 in this motherfucker. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Me by myself, bruh. No pillowcase. I won't be here long. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. I'm so glad people are out here destroying woke, feminist ideology, the way that they think, the way that they act. It's just so idiotic. I would rather have a woman that doesn't say shit. I would rather have a woman that's not even on the podcast, actually. But I'd rather have a woman that don't say shit. She seems like she ain't said shit. She ain't say shit. Because I did watch some of it at the end when I was, yesterday, when I was trying to go sleep. But, yeah. This woman right here, dumb as a box of rocks. The other woman that's doing Excel boating, she she can get corrected. I feel like she can get corrected. She probably a little headstrong on some of her beliefs, but I think she can get corrected on her baseline, which will make her top line much more different. I think women like this might just lost hope. There's just no hope. Only time will teach women like this. Only time will teach a woman like this. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm out. Today was a good stream. Let's give it up.